What's up, YouTube? Sarah here, and today I would like to talk about some natural solutions to insomnia. I've got 5 tips coming up. A lot of people actually do suffer from insomnia. I used to be one of them, and this is where basically you can't fall asleep or you can't stay asleep, and it has a lot of negative side effects. Aside from the fact that you wake up not feeling very rested, it also is detrimental to your immune system. So if you're wanting to have your immune system in tip-top shape, you want to make sure that you're getting into that deep REM sleep, which is your restorative sleep. So finding some solutions to your insomnia is obviously beneficial. You can take sleeping medication, but there's a lot of side effects to that. I've used it myself, and I mean, aside from the huge list of negative side effects that come on the insert with it, you wake up kind of feeling groggy, you got that weird taste in your mouth, all that kind of stuff. So looking for natural solutions is also very good. So tip number 1 would be to cut back on your caffeine, or at least make sure that you're not drinking it past noon. A lot of people don't realize that caffeine has a half-life of up to 5 hours, meaning if you drink a cup of coffee at noon, you'll burn off half of that within 5 hours, so by 5 p.m., but then the rest of it your body is still processing. So 1 cup of coffee contains about 95 milligrams of caffeine, so half of that you'll still be processing well into the evening. And that would be if you had that last cup of coffee at noon. Imagine if you were having a cup of coffee at 1 or 2 or 3 or even later, it's going to be very disruptive to your night's sleep. So making sure that you don't consume caffeine past noon, and also maybe cutting back, because the more caffeine that you have, the more time it's going to take for your body to process it. In some cases, you're actually still processing the caffeine 24 hours later. So the very next day, your body is still processing that caffeine, which is kind of scary. Tip number 2, alcohol. Alcohol disrupts sleep. It prevents you from going into a deep restorative sleep. So cutting back on your alcohol, or cutting it out altogether, or at least not drinking it late in the evening. Tip number 3 would be refined sugar, cutting back on your refined sugar. The more refined sugar that you eat throughout the day, the more times you're actually going to wake up during the night. So cutting out refined sugar altogether would be awesome, but at the very least, cut it down to a minimum and don't be eating it late in the evening. Tip number 4, don't have a heavy meal right before bed, because what ends up happening is your body's going to be focusing on digesting that meal rather than sleep. So just make sure that you're not eating really late at night and it's not a huge heavy meal. If you need to have a little snack, try to have something that's small and easy to digest and not too late in the evening. Tip number 5, no artificial light. Your eyelids are actually very, very thin. So when you close your eyes, if there is light in the room, artificial light, it's sending signals to your brain that it's daytime. And when it's late at night and dark, your body will naturally start to produce melatonin, which helps you sleep. And if you're getting that artificial light, then it tells your brain not to produce melatonin, so it's going to disrupt your sleep. So making sure that you have no artificial light in the room. If you have an alarm clock or something, even those little lights on your alarm clock or your cell phone or any of that kind of stuff, try to cover them up, because that, again, sends signals to your brain through your little thin eyelids that it's still daytime and it doesn't need to produce melatonin. At any rate, those are my 5 tips for now. There's obviously a lot more. You could be eating foods that contain melatonin and that sort of thing, but I'll do that in a separate video because I try to keep them nice and short and sweet for you guys, so it's a little easier to watch and digest. So hopefully that was helpful. Thanks again so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a really fantastic day. Please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.